Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week wisdom and legacy building podcast. Today is 556 of our trek, and it is Wisdom Wednesday. Every Wednesday along Life's Trail, we will dig for the nuggets of wisdom that are found in the book of Proverbs. Today, we'll explore the 31st and final chapter in Proverbs. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. We had a great weekend in Charlotte. We did have an important meeting on Friday to attend, and we were able to assist our younger daughter Janet and her husband Rowan complete their tax returns. On Saturday, I was able to invest most of the day with our grandson Kip, playing with his safari animals, remote control race car, and coloring several pages of animals. We then had an early dinner with my sister Rebecca before heading to watch Janet play in her first roller derby bout. There were two bouts that evening, where Charlotte's A team won a decisive victory over a team from Florida, while the B team played against a very tough team from the Carolinas. Janet was the lead jammer on the B team, and although the final score was not in our favor, Janet played a very tough game and was named MVP of her team. It was great to be there to cheer her on. As with all of our children and their spouses, we are very proud of her. We are blessed to have a very close relationship with all of our children. This brings us to our topic for today in Proverbs chapter 31. The first 9 verses are the instructions from a mother to her grown son who is king. And verses 10 through 31 describes the attributes of a wise, virtuous, and capable woman who is more precious than rubies. So let's explore the nuggets of wisdom from a mother's faithful instruction. First, let's dig into the advice that King Lemuel's mother shared with him in verses 1 through 9. The sayings of King Lemuel contain this message, which his mother taught him. O my son, O son of my womb, O son of my vows, do not waste your strength on women, on those who ruin king. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, to guzzle wine. Rulers should not crave alcohol. For if they drink, they may forget the law, and not give justice to the oppressed. Alcohol is for the dying, and wine for those in bitter distress. Let them drink to forget their poverty, and remember their troubles no more. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. Ensure justice for those being crushed. Yes, speak up for the poor and helpless, and see that they get justice. Anytime we allow a person or substance to take control of our rational or emotional mind, it leaves us open to making unwise decisions. This is especially true for a person who is in a position of authority. King Lemuel's mother warned him of the dangers of women and wine. In different ways, both have brought down many great leaders. Both of these are certainly distractions for the king's true work, which is defending the poor. Rulers need to have a clear mind and heart so that they can administer justice fairly. The only appropriate reason to allow our minds to be dulled is when we are suffering some great emotional or physical pain. With today's advanced medicines, we do have choices other than alcohol to lessen the pain. The next section, verses 10 through 31, is titled, A Wife of Noble Character. An interesting note as we read through verses 10 through 31 now, that in the original Hebrew language, this section was a poem. The subject of this 22-line poem is found in the last chapter of the book of Proverbs and is titled The Wife or a Woman of Noble Character. And this section is meant to be a tangible expression of the book's celebrated virtue of wisdom. The author is essentially showing us what wisdom looks like in action. There is a direct connection between the Proverbs 31 woman and the woman wisdom that is found in earlier chapters of Proverbs. This section is packed with very rich imagery. The poem is also an acrostic, so that the first word of each verse in the original Hebrew begins with the letter of the Hebrew alphabet in order. This communicates a sense of totality as the poet praises the everyday achievement of an upper-class Jewish wife, a woman who keeps her household functioning day and night by buying, trading, investing, planting, sewing, spindling, managing servants, extending charity, providing food for her family, and preparing for each season. Like any good poem, the purpose of this one is to draw attention to the often overlooked glory of the mundane, everyday task. As a poem, Proverbs 31 should not be interpreted prescriptively as a job description for all women. Its purpose is to celebrate wisdom in action, not to instruct women everywhere to get married, to have children, or to take up the loom. So let's start in with verse 10. Who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She is more precious than rubies. Her husband can trust her, and she greatly enriches his life. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She finds wool and flax and busily spins it. She is like a merchant ship bringing her food from afar. She gets up before dawn and prepares breakfast for her household and plans the day's work for her servant girls. She goes to inspect a field and buys it. With her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She is energetic and strong, a hard worker. She makes sure her dealings are profitable. Her lamp burns late into the night. Her hands are busy spinning thread, her fingers twisting fiber. She extends a helping hand to the poor and opens her arms to the needy. She has no fear of winter for her household, for everyone has warm clothes. She makes her own bedspreads. She dresses in fine linen and purple gowns. Her husband is well known in the city gates, where he sits with the other civic leaders. She makes belted linen garments and sashes to sell to the merchants. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. When she speaks, her words are wise, and she gives instruction with kindness. She carefully watches everything in her household and suffers nothing from laziness. Her children stand and bless her. Her husband praises her. There are many virtuous and capable women in the world, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty does not last. But a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised. Reward her for what she has done. Let her deeds publicly declare her praise. Well, that's the end of the reading for Proverbs. It would do us all well to look throughout the Bible for examples of strong and capable women. As we study the scriptures, we need to be careful of focusing only on marriage, motherhood, and domestic duties, which are all admirable, but they don't necessarily define a godly woman. Instead, it is holiness with integrity and bravery, which we all should seek regardless of our gender. Proverbs 31 is not the only place we'll find women of valor in the Bible. You can turn to Sarah or Deborah, Esther, Mary Magdalene, Mary of Bethany, Mary of Nazareth, Martha, the Apostle Junia, Priscilla, Phoebe, and Tabitha too. You can also turn to women of valor in your life, possibly your mother or your grandmother, and many others around the world who are bringing their unique gifts, insights, passion, and calling to bring hope and healing to the world. That is what it really means to honor a woman as described in Proverbs 31. Let her deeds publicly declare her praise. Today on our Wisdom Trail, we will receive some sound motherly advice and also an example of some of the attributes that a woman who is wise will possess. All of these proverbs have provided us with rich wisdom, insight, and understanding on a myriad of life issues. And regardless of where you are on your faith walk, if the precepts of Proverbs are followed, your life will be rich and satisfying. I encourage you to take them and plant them in your heart so that you'll reap a harvest of wisdom. And I would challenge you to take just one of the precepts that we learned today in Proverbs and commit to applying it to your life this week. Tomorrow, our hike will be a short trail on our Wisdom Unplugged series where we will discover an inspirational wisdom quote. So encourage your friends and family to join us and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. That will finish our trek for today. If you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks or read the Wisdom Journal, they are available at wisdom-trek.com. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.